Alright boys, I'm back once again with another video. So today it's going to be a bit of an interesting day. Obviously, you can see a different angle. I actually managed to break my gimbal somehow because I'm a bit special. I was recording the other day in the gym, Thursday or something like that. I was recording in the gym and I must have taken my phone out and then my gimbal rolled off, and then like one of the three legs on the tripod stand ended up breaking off, snapping off. But I'm looking to get it fixed with super glue. It's very possible. It's not broken beyond repair, so that's a good thing at least. Obviously, that's why we have a different camera angle today. But the interesting part of today isn't actually the fact that the gimbal broke, or else my life would be fucking miserable if that's interesting. Today, I'm actually going to be reading something I wrote in my journal on the 15th of May 2022, which is around almost exactly a year ago. Obviously not almost exactly, but it's like a year and 15 days, right? 2 weeks, something like that. So yeah, it's going to be a bit interesting. It's going to be titled "The Ideal Woman and Mother of My Future Kids." And I've actually had a lot of deliberate thought and introspection in relation to this specific topic, because I find that, and I have no shame in admitting this, I find that women are one of the things that motivate me the most, because I really love women, especially beautiful women. And the thought of having a beautiful mother of my children really does get me going, do you know what I mean? So the reason I ended up writing a whole fucking journal entry on specifically just that topic is because obviously I must have been in a period where, well, if I was to picture it, I can't say exactly why, but I must have been in a period where I was struggling for motivation. Obviously at this point I was probably bartending still in that shit pub that I was at, so I must have been doing it for motivation. So without further ado, let's just go straight into it. It's actually got a few pages. It's 2 pages actually. And yeah, let's just go to point 1. So point 1 says, word for word, she must meet the minimum looks threshold, no improper fractions. So I'm a very honest person. She must meet the minimum looks threshold. That basically means, in my standards, anything below a 7.5, which I don't like the 7 1 to 10 scale, but 7 just makes it very easy to quantify. Do you know what I mean? If 5 is average, 6 is above average, 7 is what most people would be like, oh, she's very attractive, right? And then 8's like, wow, she's a stunner. 9's like, oh my god, like basically perfect, almost perfect. To me, there's no such thing as a 10, but I don't even use that scale in my head. I'm just saying it to quantify it. I'll explain the scale that I use in a different video, I guess, but it's not very complex. But yeah, she must meet the minimum looks threshold. I'm not even going to put myself through the agony of being with a girl that I know I don't find attractive and cheating again, because I've done it in the past. I ended up cheating on one of my girlfriends, and it's just not lit. It's not a good move. Being dishonest to your girl, to your girl, and you're just breaking multiple hearts at the same time, like lying to the other girl because you're invested in a situation with this girl. It's just ugly situation. So in order to help prevent that, because the girl I cheated with was actually more attractive than my initial girlfriend, I'm gonna try and have to make the girl I eventually end up making the mother of my kids be extremely attractive, and there might be multiple of those. That's how I'm feeling at this current moment, but obviously the way it progresses could vary. So yeah, and the no improper fractions part is actually kind of funny. I personally am more of a backside guy. I'm more of an arse guy than a tits guy. And when a girl has bigger tits than her arse, to me, that's an improper fraction. So, because obviously a fraction is like, oh, 9 over, or an improper fraction will be 9 over 5. So she's got more tits than arse. That's an improper fraction. I don't like that shit. I fucked a couple of them. I'm just going to be more raw and not hold myself back, because I've been holding myself back a little bit in my videos to try and appear more sophisticated, but I'm just going to be more raw and more myself. So yeah, no improper fractions, and she must meet the minimum looks threshold. The second part is mindset based. So she has to be agreeable, and you'll find a lot of these things are basically complete polar opposites of what I am. She has to be very agreeable, because two disagreeable people clash all the time, and it's not healthy. Obviously there will be clashes in a relationship, but it's not healthy for two people in a happy relationship to be clashing all the time, because arguments over and over just create resentment and disdain and all sorts of negative emotions that can't help you cultivate a good environment for kids. Because remember, this is for the mother of my kids as well, not just for me to have a girlfriend, you know what I mean? So the second thing within mindset will be cooperative or slash submissive. So believes in my judgment. That's what I wrote. So when I say that, it means like, obviously she is, in fact, the first three parts of this, that they all highly, apart from agreeable, they all kind of interlink. So cooperative, supportive, and submissive, that they all have like a intertwining relationship. So basically what I meant by that is, or what I wrote exactly, it says believes in my judgment, offers her own input, but ultimately listens to my calls as she wholeheartedly trusts my decision making. So what I mean by that is, there's only one president of a country, there's one captain of a ship, do you know what I mean? And that one person is the ultimate shot caller. And when I say ultimate, I don't mean like, oh, ultimate, oh, massive. I mean like the decisions end up being made by that person in the end. Obviously ultimate means the end, as well as like very high level, do you know what I mean, as a simple definition. Anyway, that's rambling. So she will offer her input, because obviously her input is valuable. It's very valuable because she's going to be the mother of my kids, right? But ultimately she'll leave the final decision to be made by me, while also I will be in taking her input and having that slightly influence my decision, depending on how good her input is or not. So the next part of this in the journal says, teachable and adaptable, high willingness to learn and embrace new things. For example, studying the human body to assist me with fitness, as well as herself, in brackets. So when I say teachable and adaptable, it means teachability index to me, right, is the willingness to learn and the willingness to accept change. And I myself have a very high teachability index. I read very frequently. I'm always intaking new information. That's how my vocabulary became fairly above average. That's how I know a fairly good amount of stuff in relation to most people who are just numbing their brain with TikTok and Instagram reels for fucking hours on end, just perpetually scrolling. And that's not me looking down on those people. They made their choices. I made mine to just be more competent, I'll be honest. So I expect the same from the mother of my kids or my future wife. So she has to be teachable. So when I say willingness to accept change, it's like, okay, like for example, having a kid is a massive change in your life, right? When we have a kid, she needs to be, or when we find out she's pregnant, she needs to be willing to stop eating shit food, for example. She probably won't be eating shit food because I don't like shit food myself. So she needs to stop eating shit food, not be drinking while she's pregnant, that sort of stuff. Just the basics. And adaptable is the same thing, kind of the same thing as me as well. I'm also very adaptable, but it's more so in a sense of as I just the example I gave here, like studying the human body to assist me with the fitness business, for example. So if I say, oh, I've got a pain in the deep part of my shoulder, and she's like, oh, or let's say deep part of my upper back, she'll understand, oh, okay, maybe I should give him a massage or something like that. And obviously it goes both ways in a situation like that. It's not, I'm like I said, I'm not a fucking red pill retard on, oh, your girl should only be doing this for you, da, 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 da. Obviously, a lot of that shit is reciprocated. If she's in pain, I will also give her a massage because I understand the body. So that sort of stuff. The next thing in mindset, which is also similar to me, it's funny, I said a lot of these are opposites to me, but the last two haven't. We've got long-term thinking. So I say, it says, sees what could be as well as what is. So, and I've underlined what is. I would assume, knowing how I think, sees what could be, obviously long-term thinking, basic. You need to be planning ahead, because if you just take life as it is, or let yourself be blown away by the wind or the currents of life just lead you up any stream, and you're not intentionally going, oh, the best way to put it is Seneca's quote about ports. Seneca said, if you don't know which port you're sailing to, no wind is favorable. So if you don't have a plan as to where you're going, you're basically working or just taking random steps. They're not actionable steps that are working towards a specific goal. So sees what could be, long-term thinking, and what is like, okay, this is the situation we find ourselves in. How can we make it better? Or how can it get worse and we can try and prevent it from getting worse? That sort of thing. And I've put into fitness, which obviously I'm like highly into fitness. I'm in pretty decent shape right now. 82 kilos with visible abs. I'd say 83. The scale says 85 when I have food in me. So 83 with visible abs. I'm very into fitness. And fitness is one of the things that completely transformed my life, because before I was a fucking skinny runt, useless, victim weight. I'm actually going to make a video on that. Victim weight. Yeah, fitness is very important because it taught me the three Ds. I call them the 3 Ds. I actually stole this from Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace to him. True king. I stole this from Kevin Samuels. It's discipline, dedication, and discernment. So discipline shows that she is capable of sticking to a commitment, which transfers to the relationship, right? Obviously, it's not exactly the same, but you get the point, right? The fact that it's kind of like a university degree. The reason companies really care about a uni degree, apart from in the fields of like STEM, which shows genuine competency, it's more so that you showed up to work towards a specific goal for 3 to 4 years of your life, and you didn't quit, and you didn't put in a shit assignment so that you failed. You did like a at least mediocre job to kind of pass. Do you know what I mean? So in that sense, it's a similar concept, but not the same. So she's capable of sticking to a commitment, which transfers to the relationship. Dedication shows that she's willing to work hard towards her commitments. Again, it taught me these things as well, not just saying her. And obviously it's in my journal, so I'm writing in like, I had no intention of reading this back at the time I was writing it. So just don't be a fucking idiot and assume that I'm saying these things were also taught to me through fitness. Obviously I'm reading it out and it says she, but obviously, yeah, I learned it as well. So dedicated, it shows that she is willing to work hard towards her commitments. That's kind of obvious. Being in a relationship is a commitment. Having kids is a commitment. So it shows that she's willing to work hard to it and not just give up. So when I say into fitness, obviously the standards for it's way easier for girls to get in good shape than for guys. I'll just be completely honest. Call me a fucking misogynist. I don't give a fuck. It's facts. I go to the gym 6 days a week and I'm in there. I'll be in there 2 hours, hour and a half, hour 45. It depends how effective I'm being, how full the gym is, that sort of stuff, right? The other day I was in the gym. When I actually broke my gimbal, I was in the gym for 5 hours because I was recording, trying to get some angles and stuff like that. And I shit you not, in the last half an hour, 45 minutes, half an hour is a stretch. In the last 45 minutes, there was a girl who came in, complete smoke show. And I was recording. I should have gone to speak to her, but I thought, I'll speak to her on the way out because I'm still recording, right? Complete smoke show. When she walks down the stairs, I see her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm recording one of my reels for Nordic hamstring curls, which is coming out soon. And literally in the last 45 minutes of me being in that gym, she left way before me. Like, I'm talking 10, 15 minutes before I even left. So she was in there for like half an hour, 40 minutes tops. And she was a complete smoke show. All she had to do was just go in there, hop on the Stairmaster a little bit, hop on the treadmill. Stairmaster obviously works your glutes because of I'm not even going to explain anatomy, but the position of Stairmaster works your glutes. So she just hopped on the Stairmaster for like, 30 odd minutes, and then boom, she's out. And bro, her body was like crazy, right? It wasn't like completely immaculate. Obviously everyone's body can have some work, right? I think I'm actually one of the biggest body dysmorphia victims, I'll be honest, but I'm not a victim of anything, but I really do have genuine body dysmorphia. I still feel like I'm small. But yeah, girls don't work as hard as guys do in the gym, and it's just facts. They have less testosterone, so they're less likely to do it, but still, it still shows, like, if she's making an effort to be in the gym and all she has to do is just eat better and she'll be in amazing shape, that's a very good sign, because she's electively choosing to be in the gym, whereas most girls would just sit at their house watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, doing fuck all, scrolling through TikTok again. So yeah, and another thing on mindset is, which isn't noted here, but another thing in mindset would be, you know what, I'll leave that for another video. Let's just go to the next page. So the fourth point here says femininity. So starts off with saying affectionate, can regularly demonstrate, not say, what she truly that she truly cares for my well-being. So when you've been around the block like me, not flexing again, you know, girls say one thing, doesn't matter. What girls say doesn't matter. And it sounds fucked, but there's a reason the phrase man of my word is a thing and not woman of my word. You know what I mean? Girls say shit and don't mean it all the time. So when it comes to dealing with girls, you need to see how she acts. Observe her actions, not how she speaks. So when I say can regularly demonstrate, not say, that's what I'm referring to. And that she truly cares for my well-being. So like, I'm a guy, simple stuff pleases me. Like very simple stuff. Like, let me give you an example of what an old girl did for me. Like, after we fucked, I had fallen asleep, and then I woke up, my room was a bit messy. I woke up, she tidied it up for me. I was like, damn, this is one of the only girls that I ended up sleeping with multiple times. So most of the girls I fucked, apart from the ones in relationships, I I only fucked them like once, 2, 3 times, and then I just got bored. So this was one of the only girls I ended up fucking more than once that wasn't actually my girlfriend because of that specific gesture. So very small things go a long way with me. Accommodating, so goes out of her way to fit in my needs and wants. I think that's like kind of obvious. Every guy would want that sort of thing. So like, she understands that I'm going to be on a high protein diet. I'm just giving some examples. She understands I'm going to be on a high protein diet because I have a very muscular build. Because of earlier, she learned, like I mentioned earlier, in the mindset part, she understands nutrition to a higher level. Obviously, I might have taught her, but she understands nutrition to a higher level. So she accommodates that into when she cooks, for example. So there might be 3 fillets of salmon. She might give me 2. Obviously, girls eat less, so she might give me 2, or she might actively think, he might want more salmon, so I'll get extra just in case, or something like that. Just small gestures, accommodating things. They go really far in my book. You don't have to bend over backwards and fucking move mountains. It's the most basic shit. And in the last part of femininity, it says subtle sophistication. So what I mean by this is it's like classiness, not like these messy things. Like I've seen some very, very class. I normally see this. It's normally a very striking feature when it's in black girls. I'll be honest, because most black girls are completely ridiculous. And I'm black, so I can say this. I'm not gonna get fucking hung by this, at the gallows for saying this shit. Do you know what I mean? Most black girls are insufferable. I'll be real. They really are. Most black girls are insufferable. So it's a very striking feature, especially in black girls. But I've written, is aware of her grandeur, which means like she's aware of her pull, her gravitational pull in a situation. If she walks into you already know, if you've ever walked down the street with a girl who's very attractive, you can tell how many people are just looking at you. They're just staring, because it's just a certain, it's like when a very high status guy walks into a room, or like a very big guy walks into a room, but multiplied 10 times over. So I'm pretty big now relative to most people. When I walk past people, but when you're walking down the street with a girl who's very attractive, it's a completely different thing. It's like everyone looks at you. Everyone, even the girls look at you. Obviously, in my case, they might be looking at me because I'm also wham, but the majority of it is they're looking at her. They're like, oh, I mean, back when I was skinny, it must have been like, how the fuck did this fucking twig get a girl like her? And then the other guys are just like, fucking hell, she's nice. Do you know what I mean? So is aware of her grandeur, but is humble about it. So she's not going to be walking around, putting people down, being a complete wank stain because she knows she's attractive. She understands that she has that gravitational pull in any situation, but she isn't arrogant about it. She's sophisticated, classy. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't go out of her way to make others feel inferior to her. So that's the second part of the subtle sophistication. So she's very nice to people who are in less fortunate situations to her, but there's still an element of ruthlessness. She doesn't allow people to cross boundaries, because that's also a part of sophistication and being classy. People can never overstep a boundary and just get away with it for fun. Do you know what I mean? So in 5, it's very obvious. It says naturally nurturing, which is actually a trait that's rubbed off on me a lot because of my mum. My mum works with kids. So it's something I'm like also naturally good at. Here it says, good with kids and pets. If she is able to care for the loved ones of others, she will be even better with her own. So self-explanatory. I don't think I really need to explain that. But to me, a girl who can't care for others, who can't cater for others, is, in my opinion, useless. And the sixth part, it says undamaged. It's gonna be fun. This is fucked up. I know it really is, but that's just how I think. Undamaged, low body count, not many, if any, in brackets, men. So not many, if any, men have imprinted on her, so she will pair bond better and give the relationship her all, which obviously relates to the study of the amount of times a girl's been fucked. The more fucked up her oxytocin receptors are, which oxytocin is the love hormone, which allows her to pair bond with a long-term partner. And the study says past 7, I think it was like 6 or 7 partners, her ability to pair bond drops precipitously, which means a very steep gradient. And if you don't know maths, very steep gradient means just, let's say this is like the normal pair bonding. Steep gradient would mean boom, it's just like straight down. Do you know what I mean? It will be on top of that. It says doesn't drink often. I mean, it says doesn't drink / do drugs, but I also drink from time to time. But I mean, I haven't drank in a month and a bit now. Last time I was at a wedding. But doesn't drink / do drugs. So these age the body faster and reduce overall attractiveness. Don't need to explain that. Doesn't post skin online. Stems from seeking external validation, which isn't conducive behavior to a successful relationship in which kids can be raised. I think I cooked in that last sentence. I cooked pretty well. 20-year-old me was pretty enlightened for his age. I'm pretty impressed by the shit I wrote, because I haven't actually looked at this since last week when I decided to make a video on it, but I just skimmed it. I didn't read the whole thing. But yeah, I decided to make this vid because obviously I made a video on women last week, and that video was more so around the negative side of women. But here I had to kind of like balance it out, because like I said in the last video, I don't want this channel, well, in one of the previous videos, I don't want this channel to be along the lines of red pill, I don't want it to have any sort of hating women base built. I don't want the foundation to be anything in relation to hating women, because like I said, women are completely just amazing people, and the things a girl can add to your life are truly amazing. Just how she changes you is just amazing. I can't even explain it. There's no words for it. You just have to experience it. And I know a lot of you guys are fucking incels. I'll be real. A lot of people are fucking incels in this world. They can't get girls to save their life. So I have to specify that girls are amazing, and that you shouldn't look down on them. You shouldn't talk down on them. You shouldn't think you're superior to them. Obviously, you can be in certain fields, and they're superior to us in others, like dealing with kids and pets and shit like that. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a journal reading from a year and a bit ago. Yeah, man, I don't really have much more to say. See you guys on the next week's video. Adios. I just ended the video and realized that I missed out on a very specific part. So I have to re-record and mention this because it's very important. So all the things I've explained in today's video, which I wrote this journal entry with the thought in my mind, because at the time I was abstaining from sex, because blah, 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 whatever, doesn't matter, right? But I was abstaining from sex. There were some girls in my workplace who wanted to fuck me. I ended up fucking them, but I was abstaining because I was working towards the goal of becoming an excellent man, because what I've described here is nothing less than an excellent woman, you know, like she must be a 7.5 or above. She has to have amazing mindset, into fitness. She needs to be feminine, which is far and few girls in between. Obviously, it's highly dependent on the guy, because girls are a mirror of the guy they're most attracted to. Basic stuff. Naturally nurturing, undamaged, low body count, doesn't do drugs, doesn't post skin online. Like, that is a very exceptional woman. And the reason I was abstaining, and I still am abstaining, I haven't fucked a girl since August last year, obviously, is I'm working towards myself being an excellent man that girl can happily follow and feel confident in being in a relationship with. Do you know what I mean? So I just had to add that part in, because I wrote this under the pretense that, because in my head I already understood it, but it just slipped my mind while I was recording because it's not written down. So yeah, apart from that, guys, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.